Okay. Okay, we're going.
What Windows are you using? Is this like
fuck.
Windows Vista
Yeah.
or something?
Old as fuck.
Oh my god.
System, like, way old. So yeah, Cool Edit Pro is way
That's so
fucking...
funny. You should use music from like 2008 too.
What?
Use music for your podcast
Yeah,
from
yeah,
like
yeah,
2008.
because like,
Just
and we got
pretend-
the video from 2008
Just
or whatever.
pretend it's 2008.
Obama
Can you believe
was just
Obama won?
I know.
I can't believe that someone that a candidate like that beat Hillary Clinton. Can you believe it?
I can't at all. It's so crazy. Like, America's changed. It's
Right.
totally different after the whole George W. Bush thing and
Right.
the Iraq War and all of that. Like, finally things are really gonna turn around.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, I think if she runs next time, like you couldn't lose to a worse candidate. You know, I think she's hit rock bottom as far as that's concerned. So I think she has a good chance in the next one.
There's no way she can lose.
Right. Exactly.
Even like it would take even. I can't even imagine, like, say she was against like the most douchey candidate possible.
Yeah.
And there's still like that. Yeah, there's, even if she was against the best candidate, there's no way she could lose. There's no possible.
Right. Like, what could the guy, like, this guy's name was Hussein, right? The guy who was responsible for 9/11.
As the establishment said, yes.
Yeah.
And so she'd have to go against like fucking like, I don't know, God himself.
Right.
To lose.
I mean, she could even lose against, like, I don't know, man, like Gary Coleman or something. Who's someone really bad that you could think of that she could potentially lose against? I'm thinking like
I don't think she could lose.
Drew Carey or something, like a fucking game show. Like, imagine if Drew Carey ran. You'd be like, what?
Pat
Drew
Sajak
Carey?
or something, yeah.
Yeah, Pat Sajak. You'd be like, what? He's a game show host. How could he? You couldn't get worse than that as a candidate,
exactly.
Yeah.
He's... Yeah, fucking, it really does look like the fucking, 10 years ago.
Yeah, it does.
Like, you get the fucking...
I like it. It makes my face blurry.
Yeah.
I think it makes everyone's face look symmetrical, which is nice.
Yeah, the shit video quality really, like...
Or like chat roulette. You remember chat roulette?
Yeah, the fucking...
I feel like that's just reminds me of chat. I mean, not that I was on chat roulette very much.
but yeah, the quality of this 2008 level video and audio.
So do you post this to LiveLeak? Or
to
like the 2008
fucking,
video share?
To Kaza or Morpheus.
Yeah.
I guess it's going back another 10
like
years.
The Matrix, huh?
The fucking early file sharing. What the fuck was it? Oh man, there's so many things. LimeWire.
Oh, LimeWire, yeah.
Fucking A. So we're talking Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Colorado had some...
they'll just decriminalize mushrooms, yeah.
Yeah, for the whole state or just for like
Just for Denver.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what happens if you go outside of Denver. There's just like a wall set up, I think, so that if you take mushrooms outside of Denver, you... Wait, what does decriminalize mean exactly?
I think it means you can't be
You got
called
the
a
wrong
criminal if you...
Maybe you got the wrong person for this podcast.
No, I don't know.
That means you can't go to prison or something?
Yeah, you can't be arrested for it, I think. But it's like there's all sorts of levels to our government. So if Denver's a fucking city.
Yeah.
Like if the state of Colorado wants to crack down, they can send in their fucking law enforcement. And if the federal government, which used to threaten the pot thing, like the marijuana thing when it was legalized in states, we could still crack down because technically federally it's illegal.
Yeah.
They haven't really a lot, but with mushrooms, the government might be a little more douchey and just be like, oh yeah, Denver, you think you can do this, and they'll just run in and raid people anyway. But maybe not. Also, it would be cool if they didn't.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. But in the meantime, Colorado Denver.
What is that? But it's decrim. So it doesn't mean it's not illegal. It means you could get hit with a fine, right?
Yeah, I think the best. Yeah, they can ticket you. It's the most they
Right.
can do.
So if you're tripping on mushrooms, or
Probably
just
if you have it.
if you have
Yeah,
them.
if you're tripping out in public, it would probably only be a public intoxication thing that you can hit you with, as if you were
Right.
drunk or stoned or whatever.
Is there any way to test, like, if you're tripping on mushrooms? Like, do they have?
I don't think so,
like,
other than pupil dilation. They could just see you're fucked up on something.
Yeah. You could just say you went to the eye doctor. Or
Yeah,
something.
that's true. Like you have that eye dropper or whatever that'll make your pupils
Yeah.
dilate. Fucking hell yeah. So yeah, the fucking so hopefully eventually over the entire United States, mushrooms and acid will be decriminalized.
I hope so.
But yeah, I do too. But my hope is proven wrong so many times.
And then I hope they sell Adderall over the counter.
Yeah.
Just for me, I mean. Just, or for, yeah, that would be nice.
Shit, I hope every drug is fully decriminalized,
Right.
legalized, and medical professionals take over the trying to stop it as opposed to the police.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like a racket. The whole police.
You mean we're just gonna give doctors guns and stuff?
yeah, have them go around fucking up against
They,
the.
they wouldn't have like guns. They would have like dart guns with like tranquilizers and stuff.
Syringes and shit. Fucking knocking people out.
This
Throwing
was like
people in the paddy wagon and shit.
Dr. Brutality and stuff. Yeah.
But it would be better than the way it is.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
but yeah. Fucking I can't imagine like the whole like that sort of free society would be is so fucking far from where we are
Yeah.
that it's like, man.
I was just thinking about that on the way over here. Like, technically, the government is your employee, right? What
Right.
if you hired an employee to just like hide things from you and not tell you anything? Like, if you had an employee who's like, "Hey, don't come in here, don't look at this," or all,
Yeah.
like threatening you and
Yeah,
stuff.
and you hire him to kick the shit out of you and throw you in the back of a car and, and kidnap you for years.
Yeah, that's like masochistic, right?
Very, very.
Like, it's sort of getting out of hand. All I wanted to know is if there were aliens or not, you know?
Yeah, I was just experimenting with possible chemicals that might introduce me to some aliens.
Yeah.
And yeah, my employee beat me over the head with a fucking stick and threw me in a cage for 6 years.
Like, just for watching a video about aliens on YouTube or something, you know?
Yeah, it's in.
Just hiring someone to just kick the shit out of you if you watch any videos about aliens.
It's an insane proposition. Our whole illegal drugs bullshit thing. It really the future is doomed. But
Yeah.
whatever, you know, maybe not. Maybe.
It seems like we're moving toward legalization, right?
Yeah.
Slowly, maybe.
Yeah, I hope so. I have this fear though, because like they were legal like in the '60s, you know,
Yeah.
up until a certain point, and then once, you know, what happens when a substantial proportion of the population gets stoned and fucking starts tripping.
Yeah.
Suddenly, like society starts changing in ways that the authority disapproves of.
Yeah.
In other ways, in addition to legalized, and they go, nah, we gotta make these drugs illegal because
Yeah.
we don't want this fucking like better society thing. We want this whole, you know, it has historically threatened certain institutions that are assholes and have usually governmental power, and so
Right.
they end up like reversing it at a key point. But I hope that doesn't happen this time. I hope everybody knows better this time. There are a lot more people involved in the legalization movement, and they kind of know the game. Yeah,
Right.
so I'm hoping for the best, but
What is it about alcohol? Like, why is alcohol seeming to always be legal over, except for that one time over?
yeah. They figured out their mistake within a couple of years, but I've heard because alcohol makes you more aggressive, so it's not like a hippie type drug. It makes you forget about your problems, so it makes you
Yeah.
put up with shit for longer. A bad situation, like the classic factory worker would just fucking tolerate being a machine their whole life.
Yeah.
If every night they could go get tanked on whiskey and forget about their troubles for a few hours and then fucking go back to their horrible life the next day. So it's that kind of drug. It's like coffee. It facilitates the productive factory lifestyle, as opposed to pot and acid and mushrooms that make people go, this sucks, and then
Right. I'm not going.
Right.
Or like weed. I don't know if it'd be like, my job's not too bad, but I'm not going.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more like weed.
So, yeah, even if you had an awesome job, you're like, I just don't feel like it. Yeah.
Like, it's really not that bad, but I'd rather just stay here.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what weed would be.
Yeah. It makes people less inclined to for obedience of all types. But yeah, work in general. So yeah, they frown on drugs that lower the economic productivity and are all about.
Bad for everyone. No tax dollars, no money for companies like Apple or Amazon. Like, they're not ordering much stuff.
Right. Because they don't really need.
You know?
Yeah.
When you get drunk, you order all sorts of stuff.
That's true. That's true. A lot of fucking pointless that you don't even remember. Yeah, and I guess some people will order some shit while they're high, but not. Yeah, but in general, the alcohol thing has been. Although for a few years they got really churchy with it and were like, no alcohol, try to make everyone into a full-fledged Puritan, but it didn't work. But it worked for 3 years or something, however long it took for that amending the Constitution to be like, we were wrong.
Yeah.
And yeah, fuck. Yeah. So yeah, Denver.
Yeah.
First city in the States to fucking.
Yeah, I guess so.
Decriminalize
it, yeah.
It's a great fucking thing, but.
I remember when weed was legalized, everyone at comedy shows and stuff, it was all of a sudden just out in the open, a circle of comedians smoking weed. I wonder if it's just going to be a circle of comedians all taking mushrooms now outside of the comedy shows.
It's possible. I see enough of it already. The people doing that, because a lot of times the law is just the law. You can break it and get away with it most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're careful enough, you could do mushrooms your whole life and never even come close to getting caught.
Yeah.
But you have to be, you don't drive around in the car with it. You don't, there's certain precautions that are the higher probability situations where you might get caught. You don't do that. You don't carry it around with you while you're walking around. But you can. Yeah, I've done mushrooms a shit ton of times. Never got caught with them. Yeah. Even used to pick in Florida. We would go and pick mushrooms regularly.
Wait, just out on the ground?
Yeah.
You mean you just find cow poopies?
Yeah. We go out in the fields where there's just cattle everywhere.
How do you know it's because sometimes you can't eat them, right?
Yeah. There are definitely dangerous fungus things everywhere, but you know what kind they are. They have a very distinct look. They have a little purple skirt on the stem. You can, when you pull them out, you see the purple psilocybin juice or whatever on the inside. It was very distinct, and it was the predominant type of mushroom that was out there. So in that area, on cow shit, that was the kind.
Could you just go sell them?
There were people who sold them. I never did, but I gave them away. I would oftentimes, with something like that, I definitely sold some pot back in the day.
Yeah.
But with mushrooms, it was we never got enough that it would really be that lucrative. So we're let's just give it, any that we don't eat or our friends don't eat, whatever, we'll just give away.
Yeah. And how were they? Any good? I mean.
Oh, they were fucking awesome. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. We used to. Yeah, I was telling somebody the other day on one of these.
I don't trust it unless it comes out of a prescription bottle.
we hope for that.
Mushrooms, I mean.
Hell yeah. It would be nice to have the availability to just go down to the whatever the drugstore, so to speak, and be able to pick up some. But it was pretty cool to just walk out onto a field half a mile from my house and just find awesome fucking hallucinogens growing in
that's
the
so
dirt.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it was there was a process, and you gotta find them because you are technically trespassing on some farmer's land.
Yeah.
So there was that, and I got caught a few times by a farmer, but I just pretended like I was there to take a piss or or something.
Right.
Like I had pulled over and just had to piss really bad.
Oh, hey, farmer, I'm just peeing on your field.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then.
Yeah. And they're like,
Is that
are you
what he
sure?
said?
Because there are these, they're like, a suspicious,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all often, they were like, well, there are people who come out here looking for the mushrooms. I'm like, well, that's not me,
I pee on those mushrooms.
Yeah.
I'm doing you a favor.
And I couldn't be like, do I look like someone who, because I totally looked exactly like
Yeah.
this and was, doing that shit. So, but there was 3 times I think somebody caught me out there. And yeah, let me go, or I just walked away because it was
Right,
going to be a long
do?
time. Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
old man. Yeah. So it would have
Wait
been
here, I'm gonna go back to get my phone.
Yeah.
Was that back before cell phones?
No, they had cell phones,
Oh.
but I don't know if the old dude did. You know,
Yeah.
he was.
Wait here, let me figure out how to use this cell phone.
Yeah. He's got that fucking whatever. He's got to work his hearing aid or whatever, and I'm already in the car driving away.
Let me plug in my mobile rotary dial for this cell phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that's tight, dude. Could you just go out to any cow field and like find mushrooms?
There were ones. I mean, you might get lucky, but it was kind of like a word of mouth thing. So people would let each other know, friends would
What
let
do you
each
have
other
to
know.
feed your cow, or is it more to do
I
with the
don't know.
climate?
I think it's natural, and oftentimes farmers would feed their cow certain things so that it didn't grow. There was some weird thing, or you could salt something. There was some way that the farmers could treat. They could treat the land or treat the cow to make sure that they didn't grow. But most farmers didn't do that at that time.
Right.
So, and as far as I know, it's still going. Although nowadays a lot of people make their own, in-house kind of thing. Just there's a lot of people
Like,
that
there's
are.
like a YouTube tutorial.
Yeah,
video.
exactly. There's tons
First
of
poop in this. First poop in this Tupperware. Step 1.
I don't know if human shit would work, but that's awesome.
What if you ate a lot of grass or something?
Yeah, maybe if you
It
had a
wouldn't
cow's
work.
diet.
Why wouldn't it work? What does it have?
I don't know. Cows have like 4 stomachs and totally different enzymes and shit. And it's a bunch of biology and chemistry I don't know that would go into it. But
maybe if you just go to the doctor and like, hey, I want to poop like a cow.
yeah.
Do you think they could help you out?
Why?
They can't give you mushrooms, but maybe they can point you in the right direction.
Right. They can help you build your own. But actually, they'll tell you. Fuck, there are probably plenty of doctors making those YouTube videos about how to prepare mushrooms.
Yeah.
In your house. And yeah, I knew people that did that. It was back in the day. It was badass, man. They just have a fucking big fucking like Tupperware like thing, like tub of fucking just whatever the fuck. That's something that fucking mushrooms can like.
Right. Okay. Here's how you make money. You don't grow mushrooms. Okay, that's too difficult. You just go to the fields and collect the cow poop themselves.
Yeah.
Just put it in a big bucket, and then you just sell it on eBay.
Sell the shit itself.
Yeah.
I was telling someone the other day on one of these where I brought home cow shit one time
Wow.
and threw it in the backyard
Wow.
and just but a chunk of cow shit that we had seen like little sprouts of stuff that we knew like in a couple days was gonna be like nice big mushrooms. So we were like, let's bag this shit and bring it back, and it totally worked.
But you had to be careful to bag it so that you didn't ruin the sprouts, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's a huge chunk, so we just like whatever had these gloves or whatever, and put it in this like grocery store bag and just.
Oh my god.
And it was.
Oh my gosh! Wow, this is a business idea. Where's the nearest cow field from here? There aren't many in LA.
I don't know if the climate is right or whatever, the geology, whatever the fuck, the terrain, I don't know, the soil, whatever the fuck, I don't know if it's right for this for mushroom. But I've heard, the place I always heard was like, the north central Florida where I was, and like Oregon.
Yeah.
That are like the prime places for that kind of shit. And surprise, that happens to be a very liberal, hippie-ish kind of area where people congregate to,
Oh, so you have competition already.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But in California, I don't know. Like, somebody was wondering the other day, is up by Bakersfield or something? Maybe there's something. I don't know. But I've always just heard of people like either putting into little capsules or putting into little chocolates or whatever, and passing it around that way. But
Oh.
and plus there are different kinds. The ones in Oregon apparently were a different kind of mushroom. I don't know. I don't remember any of the fucking organic chemistry words for it, but it was maybe an even stronger one, but
Oh, a stronger one.
but
Oh my gosh.
but there was such quantity there in the ones that I was getting, but yeah, apparently now Denver is probably just swarmed with that shit.
Oh, probably. I don't know. I haven't been there
Yeah,
since
we
they
got-
decriminalized
We gotta.
it. Yeah, I gotta go. Swarmed with that shit like cow shit. Well, they have lots of cows there.
They do.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but I don't know if that, like I don't know if mushrooms grow in their poopies or not.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, you're originally from Colorado too.
I am. Yeah.
All right, hell yeah, from the
Yeah.
Denver area.
From Boulder, yeah.
Okay, is that near Denver? I don't know.
It's like 30 minutes north. Yeah, that's where like
Okay.
it used to be like a real hippie town. Like Allen Ginsberg like established some sort of hippie school there.
Hell yeah.
He used to spend a lot of time there. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So you know Allen Ginsberg, right?
I do. Never met him, but
Yeah.
a
me
badass. A bad. So he stayed like after the fucking San Fran days or whatever. He was like in. I don't know how late.
I think he kind of went back and forth. I don't know.
Okay,
I
yeah.
just know that he spent time there and established this school there called Naropa, which is like a Buddhist school almost.
Hell yeah.
Which is kind of it's kind of an interesting town. They used to have, well, like on 420 there used to be like a big like smoke out on the CU campus where you just see like plumes of weed smoke going up to the sky, and they had to put fish fertilizer down on the campus so that no one would go there and do that anymore. So unfortunately when I went to school there, they didn't have it anymore.
Fuck.
So I couldn't go and do that. But they had other shit like there's a community of nudists there that I just remember I had a Little League game once, and once a year they ride their bikes around town. So like 100 nudists driving right by the Little League game, and I think I was pitching because they were in the street behind me, so I couldn't see them. But yeah, there's that. There used to be this thing called. There's a lot of it has to do with nudity apparently, because there's this thing called the Naked Pumpkin Run on Halloween, where everyone would just get naked and put a pumpkin on their head and just like run around the streets of Boulder.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's like there's a lot of crazy shit going down there.
Hell yeah.
But like I don't know, a lot of it's changed now. It's different. It's there's a Google campus there now.
Okay.
And, it's becoming like more of a
corporate environment.
yeah, like a rich person place now.
Wow.
It seems like so.
And this is post weed legalization for many years, right? It's been like 6 years or something.
Yeah, it's been like like that probably 6 years.
Something-
I don't
but yeah,
remember
that's
exactly.
and yet it's becoming more. Well, I mean, at least Google. But fuck, that sucks that it's like. Yeah, so but that hippie stuff's still around, right? The fucking Ginsberg school's still going.
Yeah, that's still there's still remnants of it everywhere. Yeah, but it just like slowly, I think, is it's all disappearing now.
True.
You see, every year there's one less person with dreadlocks.
And you notice it's like a meter going down.
Yeah, they do. They
Dreadlock
have a meter in the
population.
middle of town. Yeah. Every year, yeah. So, but it's still a pretty cool place. There are mountains and shit. There's not that much traffic. Well, there's becoming more and more traffic.
I
There's
guess
a
that
Google
happens,
campus.
Yeah, the Google cause like in the place in Florida, Gainesville or whatever, and Asheville, North Carolina or whatever, and then like you have Silicon Valley, like that whole and the shit around Boulder, like there are like historically very hallucinogen centered hippie-ish towns that then computer sort of businesses kind of because although they're kind of corporate types, they also are fond of the smoking.
Well, like the microdosing, the LSD microdosing.
Yeah.
What is that? Like, what does that do for you exactly?
I've never done it, but apparently, it gets them just a little bit fucked up. But to me, it's like, I mean, I never tried it, so maybe it's awesome. But they would do it like every day or something, where they would just take a very little bit, but enough that you could slightly feel something, but still be technically sober, and get shit done apparently, or be a little more, I don't know, yeah, a little bit of tripping.
Like more creative or like more
I don't know.
productive or something? Like what is the idea?
Yeah, they tried to
behind
throw
that?
some business jerk spin on it, like
Yeah.
more productivity or like more creativity, like it was some self-help guru fucking, solution, fix all sort of thing. But I don't know. Yeah.
But really, it's just like they're just trying to be fucked up every day, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm all for it. Like, if it helps it be legal so that we can take like normal sized doses or whatever, like bigger than that.
Is it illegal to take a microdose, like a little bit?
Well, I mean,
Sir, it's just a little. It's just a microdose.
yeah. That would be funny actually if the law distinguishes the illegality of a substance based on quantity. So
Yeah.
above, like if it's above so many micrograms or whatever, then it's not.
Yeah.
Then it's illegal once it's above that. But if it's below that, then you're totally cool to trip. But
But then you're like arguing about your weight and stuff. No,
Yeah,
officer,
yeah.
but I weigh 500 pounds.
Yeah, I had to take
A regular dose is a microdose for me.
exactly the complexities of the law seep in at some
My
point.
tolerance too. You have to know about my tolerance.
Yeah, officer, I've been doing this for 25 years, and I need a lot of it.
Here's my 23andMe. I have a high tolerance for LSD. That's what the gene I have says right here.
Hell yeah, the Hoffman gene.
Wait a second. Is that a real gene?
No. That's just the dude who discovered LSD.
The Hoffman gene.
So they would name it after him if you had
Yeah,
like
that
I
makes
need a
sense.
lot, high quantity.
Dustin Hoffman, yeah. I remember.
Albert.
Oh, Albert Hoffman, yeah.
The scientist. Again, another accidental discovery in the history of science or whatever. Where he was
Yeah.
like studying some other shit and then accidentally got some on him, like a lot on him.
Yeah.
And rode his bike home or something and started tripping balls and was like, after it was over, figured out, it wasn't like that he got attacked by Jesus or something. It was that he actually discovered some chemical that, and he went back and, further did whatever chemists do.
Yeah.
And then gave it to Jerry Garcia. Something like that.
Quick, get this to Jerry Garcia. Jerry, you have to see this.
Yeah. Like they call him Back to the Future, Jerry.
Yeah.
Fucking, but yeah, at some point, that should spread, and that's a good way to that's a good way to spread a good drug. Is tell the lead singer of a band that loves
Yeah.
drugs.
What do you mean he got it all, like he just got it on his hand and it was enough?
Yeah, because
to
he was
where-
working on some sort of, like, scientists oftentimes have to do, like, long, tedious, boring things where, like, they test different chemicals or whatever, and he had been testing, apparently, LSD 1, 2, 3, 4, went through 24, and then when he got to 25, or some
Yeah.
shit like that, I don't know the exact, but something like that, he was testing, it was diuretics or something that, like, does something else, minor. And then, but then he came across this one particular substance and somehow got it on him.
And then he was like, well, time to lick my hand.
No, but it can go right in
Oh,
because
it
it was
can go
enough of a
through,
quantity, yeah.
yeah.
And he was, apparently like tripped like really hard because he had a lot.
He must have liked it, though.
Yeah, he totally did. Yeah,
Yeah.
he talked about the experience. I think he's written. There's at least one book by him, I think, about the experience and stuff, and a number of things in the history of science were that kind of accidental discovery. Antibiotics, a number of things where they just were doing some other shit, and then they went, "What the fuck?" and like saw something
Yeah.
else happen, and yeah, changed the world and all that,
Where they're like, time to test this medicine on myself. And they're like, oh no, this is measles.
That would be a critical error on the part of the, but no, I think it was something like antibiotics. Alexander Fleming's the guy, but like he had a team, and apparently he had set up. They do this tedious like this is that. They'll lay all this shit out and like,
Yeah.
and they had like a bunch of, I think fungus and other stuff, and in petri dishes, a bunch of different things interacting with those things, and one of the dishes had like eaten away at the fungus or something or whatever, or the bacteria that I guess was in a bunch of these petri dishes, and they were like, what the fuck was in that one? That somebody on the team, or maybe Fleming himself, I don't know, was like, what is that one that killed all the bacteria in this area? And then they studied it further and found, oh, it's this fucking thing that kills bacteria. That will be handy.
And they were like, let's test out this thing that kills bacteria. And he was like, oh no, it's measles again.
Yeah. It's always measles.
Fuck.
I don't even know if is measles a bacteria?
I don't know. I know it's something that you can get a shot for, right? You get
so maybe it's a virus.
For.
Yeah, if it's a vaccine, usually they vaccinate viruses, but I guess some bacteria they can do that. But yeah, fucking measles. Yeah, from what I hear, that was a bitch of a disease.
Yeah.
Like back in the day or whatever.
What is measles exactly? I don't know.
Some like smallpox type thing that's not as serious, but still fucking serious. But smallpox will just fucking destroy you like quick, and measles you could survive. You might even be probable to survive, but it'll be hell.
Oh god.
So
isn't measles coming back now? Apparently,
in some areas, when because of the whole anti-vaccination thing.
So if you're vaccinated for it, can you still get it?
I don't know.
Like
Probably
because
not.
they say it's coming back. It's only coming back for people that weren't vaccinated.
Right. Exactly. Right? That's part of the problem. Is that, but also one of the things I forget the details, but in essence, at a certain point, you don't need to vaccinate people for or whatever. There's some sort of like phase out where if we've dealt with this one substance, this measles or whatever, then we don't have to. Like smallpox, nobody's vaccinated for smallpox anymore, because we now know so many people were back in the day that it's gone here.
Right.
You know, it's still in bioweapons labs and probably a couple other assles closets.
Yeah.
You know, so like if
I got some back in my place
along with the measles, it's all ready for the plot to go down. But yeah, it's like, I guess maybe there's something with that most people were like overall protected from it, but then they still do give out the vaccine to all kids, I think. So maybe it's not to that point yet. It's just like to the point where, but yeah, because it has definitely exacerbated the problem because all the Jenny McCarthy's out there.
Right, because now there's an issue with like the virus is evolving or whatever, right?
Right. It can evolve past the fucking which is a crazy fucking thing too about like that initial fucking bacterial penicillin was basically the first when they discovered that shit.
Yeah.
And the way that it kills bacteria is funny and just like seemingly, I don't know, like again, I'm not a virologist, I'm not a fucking microbiologist or whatever, but like there's the bacteria have a cell wall, right? It's just gushy stuff in the inside of the cell wall, like a lot of cells.
Yeah.
And the penicillin or whatever and other types of antibiotics like it, it's just like a wrench that gets lodged in the cell wall in a certain place where it reproduces itself, where it reinforces the cell wall. So it can't reinforce itself anymore, and so the cell wall evaporates or whatever, deteriorates pretty quickly, you know, because it's constantly rebuilding itself. But it can't because there's this weird wrench that gets lodged in the machinery of it, and so once the cell wall falls away, the bacteria can't live. It's just the gush, whatever, its guts spill out and it dies.
Whoa.
So like that's how it's kind of like a mechanical thing at a very small scale, and like so that's one of the ways is they attack the reinforcement of the cell wall in bacteria or whatever, and that's one of those.
And you're saying that the bacteria could evolve past this?
Yeah, it could if it's all being hit with this same sort of wrench thing, then certain bacteria would just be born, so to speak, with a different kind of factory, whatever, infrastructure or whatever, different curves and tubes kind of or whatever.
Could only fit in there.
Right, exactly.
Like a hammer.
Right,
or,
right. Or an Allen wrench. Or a spring. Whatever the fuck. Yeah, so they have to, the bacteria will naturally evolve.
Spring.
Fucking a torque wrench. I don't know what shitty with tools.
The penicillin needs to just show up with a big toolbox, right?
Yeah,
that
so it can
instead of
change.
just showing up with one tool and assuming
Right.
that it's gonna be
Have like 120 different
exactly.
wrench formations.
Yeah, and just have like that whole box with all the different wrenches that you can put on it and stuff.
It has a way to detect what kind of shape of corridors there are in the cell wall, and it's like, all right, we need a number 58
right,
and
exactly.
a 119.
We need to get Home Depot involved in this and this penicillin stuff.
Hell yeah.
Or whoever makes tools. What's a tool company? I don't even know.
John Deere, maybe? Or Sears, probably.
Yeah, sure, Sears or John Deere. Or, yeah, Sears. Well, John Deere, you could just make a lawnmower penicillin that just kind of chops them up.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure, because then you end up chopping up all the other cells along with the cells that are the bad ones, right?
Right,
so
right.
sorry, John Deere, you might be out on this one.
It's too painting with a broad brush.
Yeah, maybe if they have like a weed whacker or something.
Yeah, that's a hedge clippers is another.
Yeah, hedge clipper. Just a penicillin that's just chopped.
Just fucking split the bacterium right down the middle.
Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna all get sick and die pretty soon. I think that's what's.
I think everybody kind of does. That's how it all goes. I mean, even people who get old or whatever. It's really just it's not that a virus or a bacteria did it, but it's that old age or whatever, and some genetic not replenishing the cells that were there or whatever did. Yeah, so it's a similar sort of thing.
It's good for evolution when you think about it to have people die. Because the quicker people die, the quicker they can evolve.
That is one of those things where, like, because the selfish gene sort of hypothesis or whatever, that the genes actually program the living things to have a shelf life.
Yeah.
And they could live longer if it wasn't for the DNA telling them, nope, now it's time to go.
Fucking piece of shit
yeah.
DNA.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I'll show you. I'm going to go over to Chernobyl and destroy you dumbass DNA.
But in certain senses, sometimes it allows for a longer life. But yeah, many times it apparently can rig an organism to be like with a clock.
Yeah.
In a way. That's probably a gross oversimplification, and all the microbiologist PhDs will email or comment on the YouTube being like, "That's fucking wrong.
Assholes. Oh
How
my
can
god.
you fucking... Yeah.
I hate microbiologists.
You're worse than Jenny McCarthy."
That's why they use like fruit flies, right, to study like evolution and stuff like that, because they die so fastly.
Yeah, they have like within a
quickly.
day or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're less respected on the animal chart.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't give a fuck about fruit flies dying all day long.
That's true. I'm gonna start an activist group for fruit flies.
Yeah,
I wonder if I
it'd be
could get
rougher with
anyone.
bunny rabbits. They wouldn't be too keen on doing
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, check this real quick. The model systems or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what the fucking scientists call animals, like model systems. Like,
Wait,
so.
what?
Yeah,
Model
because
systems?
it's like, if we're trying out a drug, we want to try it out on human, but we can't test it on a human at first.
Yeah.
So we have to test it on a system that models the human system. So other animals would be like a model system, like, and they would test it out maybe eventually on chimpanzees or something, but initially on, like, I mean, the classic case, guinea pig.
Yeah.
But very initially on rats, and then even before that, sometimes on insects like fucking flies and shit like that.
Dude, scientists are like one step from being Ted Bundy.
yeah, that's a fucking dude. What's his fuck? Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
When he wasn't fucking, sculpting cock and balls and painting fucking Jesus or whatever.
Yeah.
He did a lot of initial studies on anatomy.
Oh. Wow.
And so at night he would hang out with corpses. Probably fucking them too. Who knows?
Probably.
But
we're gonna get these
Leonardo
corpses,
da Vinci.
I wonder.
Yeah. Oh, you're really into medicine, and that's why he was really into medicine. He's like, I'm just gonna go hang out with these corpses for 17 hours, guys. I'm studying.
Yeah.
I'm studying the body.
Yeah.
That beautiful, beautiful body.
You gotta think, maybe that's why he was such a good painter, though.
And sculptor, he was like, I remember fucking that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but basically, he would did the very first initial like studies of anatomy, and I think maybe Galileo did some of that too, but I think Da Vinci was into that fucking yeah, fucking a lot of
Yeah, I mean, how impersonal you have to make things to be able to like conduct surgery on a person and not
exactly.
be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
totally. Like it's a very it's a sociopath's game.
Yeah.
Definitely. But you know, put to constructive use or whatever. I
Right.
finally did a bit on that.
Imagine if we took these doctors and we made them into soldiers.
Yeah.
What do you
That'll
think?
make society better. Yeah. Super soldiers. Or
Yeah.
better, like we were talking before, law enforcement agents.
Yeah,
They
law
go
enforcement
around
agents. All right.
busting people for drug use.
This is the beginnings of my empire
Yeah.
here.
And experimenting on them, testing out measles on them to fucking see if they,
Testing out measles on weasels,
yeah.
or bunny rabbits or whatever.
Oh, yeah. The classic. They used to use rabbits. I don't know if they still do. If,
They use like rats now, right? They have
Yeah,
those ones
primarily.
that people are like, ew,
yeah,
gross.
rats and mice and stuff is a.
So rats and mice are like humans in the way their bodies work enough to
Enough
where-
of an extent, because they got 4 limbs and 2 eyes.
Is that like the is that like
Close
the
enough.
last? Because it's always rats and mice, so it's never anything beyond rats and mice. So that would just be not tolerable for people if they were testing on.
Yeah, people get all sketched out. That's my kitty cat.
Yeah.
You know, but occasionally they do still do studies on cats and chimpanzees and stuff like that. But there are people who get fucking crazy about that shit.
Yeah.
But you know, the way there can be improvement in the fucking the treatment of animals in the world of science, and there has been historically, because it's, it's important that people bitch about that sort of shit because it makes things more ethical. At the same time, there's an ethical argument to be made that if we have to kill a few rabbits and kitty cats to prevent the horrific measles apocalypse, then there's reason to do so.
Would you do that? Would you kill three rabbits and a kitty cat to prevent the measles apocalypse?
Yeah.
You would.
4 animals
you're a bad
to
person.
save humanity.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, because it's a
wouldn't.
numbers game. 4 animals to save 8 billion. That's a
Oh,
pretty.
they're smart animals.
The
8
what?
billion smart animals.
That's true.
Yeah.
And smart animals are notoriously assholes.
Yeah.
So we should really the cat and the rabbits. They don't have the neurological complexity to be dickheads.
Right.
So maybe they are worth more. Just let them live on Earth and let the measles outbreak take care of those dickish apes.
Right. Except for me, I have the what do you call it?
Antidote.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Hell yeah.
And I have all the biological weapons in my closet.
No, it's gonna be
back
bad
in my
because
apartment.
this podcast will go out in a couple days and then there'll be some weird measles outbreak somehow, severe all over and then they'll be like, he said he had it in his closet.
Oh shit.
Fuck.
That's alright, I'll be back in Colorado. by
Yeah.
then.
At your
You'll
fortress.
never find me there at my parents' address.
With some measles-proof zombies that you've created to guard the fucking
Yeah.
fucking.
Get them. Yeah. It was like releasing measles zombies on police officers.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Way better than a firearm is just like releasing measles zombies on people.
It's a lot easier. You don't have to do anything. They handle it. They handle this shit. It would be
You just throw it out like a Pokeball.
Yeah. That's a tougher technology to build though.
Yeah.
That's why it's important for people to study math and science.
Yeah,
And-
exactly. Kids.
So we can have these sorts of things.
This is
in the
for
future.
all the kids on Live League.
And chat roulette.
Yeah. Yeah, if we were on chat roulette right now, oh my god, it'd just be.
Yeah.
I wonder I don't know if people still use that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's probably newer versions of it. I know I have a couple friends who do some crazy level video game shit, and there's some sort of similar thing where they can show each other how badassly they sniped some dude in a game. But
Wait,
yeah.
That sounds like YouTube or something.
Yeah, pretty much. But like some sort of probably. am
Do
not.
you know what YouTube is?
It's that came out in 2005, so I guess if we're in 2008.
You have that memorized?
I already had. No, because at the time I was one of the first. I started on, not one of the first, but you know what I mean. When it came out, I was like, holy fuck! I already had like other video sites that I was like hosting my own videos. And I was like, that's fucking costly and bullshit.
What was different about YouTube?
Free
you had
hosting.
to pay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it was free.
Shit.
Like immediately, I could throw up like all sorts of videos, and I had like this site that I was, whatever,
What were you doing on these other sites? What were you putting on there? Just like comedy stuff?
Yeah, just random clips from shit. And then I ended up doing this anti-war thing through YouTube and through the website there, but mostly via YouTube because it was, as far as views are concerned, like shit. I mean, a couple of videos had like a lot of views because it was early on and like it was it was cool. It was very easy to put like long videos onto. You didn't have to pay for hosting.
That's so cool that you got into it that early. I wish I did. Because some people, there's people who are just like successful on YouTube just because they started doing it early.
Yeah,
they're not particularly.
But yeah, I never monetized any of this shit, and if I had, they probably would have started the demonetization campaign back then.
Yeah.
Because it was. But but it was cool. It was cool to because I was just doing it to fucking.
Do you have any videos still up that have like thousands of views?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, from back in then,
Wow.
And all it turns into, including most of the newer views, is seemingly like the perpetuation of arguments that started in the comment section. Yeah. There's like thousands of comments. They're not even concerned with the video anymore.
Yeah.
They're just like large groups of people that got in this swirl storm of arguing about everything.
Yeah.
So it became its own chat room in the comment, and that was what most of the new views were coming from. They weren't even watching the video; they were just going there to argue.
Oh, that's
from
hilarious.
Whatever. It was like, all right, but I mean, hell, yeah. One video had over like 1 million views or whatever, and it was just like the comments was just this ongoing, never-ending spat. It was like, what the fuck?
Holy shit!
They're not even arguing about what the video was at all.
Damn.
And it's just like. But yeah.
Yeah, it's true. There's no structure to anyone's arguments on YouTube. It can just, once the subject is changed.
Yeah.
The subject, once two people establish that they're against each other, they'll start disagreeing on everything.
Yeah, it just becomes this like pissing contest, I guess.
Yeah.
Of anger. And
like back in the mushroom days.
Yeah.
In the field. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of times too, because I mean I don't know, like there's probably a lot of 12-year-olds or whatever just trying out arguing.
Yeah.
In that scene, which so that's part of the process, part of the them learning how to be, a few years down the road an asshole on Twitter.
Right.
And then they're learning now to be an asshole on Instagram, which is harder because there's not a lot of. So you got to do it in little video clips or whatever,
right.
Or make a meme. So yeah, the social media world is evolving.
Right. YouTube is like level 1. It's so easy to argue on YouTube.
Yeah.
Twitter, you only have 40 characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It became more of a focused. You had to really hone your asshole.
Right.
And then throw it at people.
Right. Twitter's good for like editing. It teaches people to edit.
Yeah. And then Instagram's good for Photoshop use or whatever. It makes it more.
Every company wants you to be able to Photoshop now.
Mm-hmm. It's part of our necessary skills to get into the corporate world.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we are clearly going for.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna send this to all my job interviews.
It's gonna be on LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
Hell, I mean, eventually, if Denver ends up being like Amsterdam, there would be some good mushroom jobs over there.
Yeah, you're
I've
right.
heard some badass. I saw some clip. I think it was a Vice clip or something a long time ago, but about a farmer, a mushroom farmer in Holland.
That's gonna be the name of the CEO of the big mushroom company, Mushroom Jobs.
Hell yeah! I fully support it.
Mushroom Jobs.
I can't wait for.
God, Mushroom Jobs. He was an asshole. He didn't even grow mushrooms. He just did the marketing.
Yeah, that's what actually this video was talking about. These people were just business people.
Yeah.
They never did shrooms. They weren't interested in doing shrooms. It was all about the money. And
Yeah.
in the Netherlands, they could make a ton of money selling tourist mushrooms.
Yeah. Wait, mushrooms are legal in Amsterdam?
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Amsterdam's famous for, I think, everything. I think you can shoot up heroin in front of a cop.
Oh,
I think you
really?
can shoot a cop up with heroin. It's totally legal.
That's funny. They probably thank you for it.
Right? Yeah, now I'm going to get an email from the Tourism Board of Holland.
Yeah,
Like,
you're gonna get a lot of emails. Do you put this on your YouTube page?
Yeah, that's
You
pretty
do?
much it. Right now, I'm still using YouTube for free hosting because like I don't. Everybody puts their podcast like on their own site as well and stuff like that, but it costs hosting. It costs so, and I
Right.
can't pay the $20 a month right now to do that. So all the podcasts are just on my YouTube channel.
So this is people are gonna be arguing in the comments.
Hopefully,
with millions
I mean,
of views.
yeah,
and stuff?
yeah, no, 17 views.
Dude, advertise this on your well, maybe not this one, maybe a podcast with someone else who's more interesting than me. Put comment on the YouTube video with all the arguments. Just start promoting all your stuff on that. Like,
Oh, in other videos, arguments
just
like,
in-
oh yeah, well you suck, but check out this video. Like that. It might work. I don't know. Like, there are a lot of people that are, but yeah, they kind of have the mental concentration of a fruit fly. A lot of the commenters, so they're like we were saying before, they're bouncing around, just not even, one second they're arguing about fucking politics, the next they're talking about the fucking measles outbreak or whatever. It's just they're everywhere, so even their watching of the videos would have they're not even interested in it. They do, it would be like a spam click kind of thing, but a funny idea for.
But I wonder what it is that. Why do people always think that they're going to be able to win an argument? That's what.
Yeah,
There's
that's
gotta
a
be
good
some
question. That's a
psychological-
good fucking question. Yeah, that's
'Cause
our primate dominance obsession.
Yeah, because it never ever happens. Is there ever a YouTube comment that is like, haha, I have won?
Yeah, and everybody's like, you're right, you won.
And the other guy's like, dang it, I've been vanquished.
He's right, yeah, exactly. The acknowledgement of defeat, let alone an actual genuine, like, thank you, I learned something.
Yeah.
That was very cool of you to contradict my fucking first assertion.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna start trying to spread like humility by going around and losing tons of arguments.
That would be
purposely
funny. A YouTube channel that's all you did was
Yeah.
go around to the different arguments and fucking chimed in and said, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
and then made a video where you cataloged all the places and talked about that trolling effort or whatever.
What would the person? They probably wouldn't even know how to win. They'd be like, you're wrong, asshole. And I'd be like, yeah, I am wrong. That's okay. And they'd be like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, they kick you while you're down or whatever. Like, they just show that they're like the chimpanzee fucking display where like,
Yeah, exactly.
like on the fucking.
They just find your address and kill you. That's probably how it
Hell
would
yeah.
end.
Hell yeah. If they've got some vials of measles, they can do it.
Yeah, they
It's
just
fucking
bring
easy.
they
Or zombies.
That's so funny. And I
Well-
like how this looks like. It looks like it will look like you uploaded it in 2005. I wish
Yeah.
you could change the date.
Yeah, put a little date in the bottom,
Yeah.
like the old looking video camera, like 2008, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should do that because
I was in 5th grade in 2005.
fuck,
Yeah.
I was like 29 years old.
Oh my god. That's not that old though.
Yeah.
What were you doing? You were just talking
Yeah.
about Iraq War and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, basically complaining about that. I was playing in a band at the time, and just yelling in a band, and
Really? What'd you
smoking
play
a
in
lot
the
of pot.
band?
I was yelling shit.
You were the yelling? You mean the singer?
I mean, yeah, but I didn't sing.
I see.
I was just yelling shit, you know.
Do you think Kill Tony needs a yeller?
No.
Ah, okay. I mean,
I mean,
maybe you could
occasionally
be
they do.
the,
Whenever there's somebody on there that like sang in a band, they'll have them do a little something.
Oh
So-
yeah, that's
so,
right.
So that
You
happens.
should do that
yeah.
on your next one. You
I think I
just
did
sing
it
a
on the
song.
first one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh.
I just yelled fuck.
Ah.
You know, because that's what I would generally do. It's
Ah.
just like it was complete incoherent hardcore style yelling. But at that time, yeah, we just had a lot of good friends hanging out, smoking pot, playing music, and
Oh, that sounds like fun. And
yeah,
what
it
did you
was
do for work at the time?
at the time I was advertising porn sites.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that good money?
It was.
I have to imagine
It
that's
was-
very good money.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I wasn't
Especially in
on
the
a high
early
level or
days.
whatever, but yeah, in the early days like that, yeah, it was actually fucking really good. Like for you didn't have to do. I knew a little bit of programming or whatever, and I was doing like a little bit of that. Yeah, and it worked with very little.
Dude.
Because you'd automate a lot of things, and or there were systems that you could use that had already been automated or whatever, and you just post in these things, and then people would go through. It's just commission based whatever thing.
Wow.
So-
Dude, you're like an early adopter of like everything. YouTube. Well, only video based stuff it seems.
Right,
like.
right.
What's the next video based stuff thing that you're very
I'm
really
clearly
excited
innovating in
about?
the podcast sector.
Yes. Say.
This is state of the art fucking 2008 podcast technology here.
What's the next internet video?
I mean, I don't even know if
that
people
you're
talk about that
excited
fucking
about?
that fucking virtual reality headset shit. I haven't even tried it, but like they're
Yeah.
talking like that's going to be the next thing that people jerk off with.
A virtual reality?
Yeah, like they put on a headset or whatever, and it's like a full immersion video thing, and
Oh my god. How are you gonna know if your parents are coming up the stairs?
exactly. Like now that when they catch you masturbating, they're just gonna like watch you masturbate for a minute and a half before you notice that somebody's standing there. You take off the helmet and like your parents are masturbating to you masturbating. It's just a fucking mess.
Oh man.
But yeah,
my
the
parents are never gonna. I hope they never see this.
Hell yeah. No, but that's why I've heard. Even the second podcast I did, a guy was talking about, and he knows all the fucking technical jargon or whatever, or the company name or whatever. But there's some new virtual reality thing that is apparently fucking incredible,
Oh my
and
god.
it's just off the charts, and that people are immediately steering it towards porn, just because
Yeah. That's always the first.
yeah,
That's always the first thing.
the world's oldest profession.
Yeah. Like when they first invented like writing on tablets, it was just like.
Drawing titties.
Yeah, it was just
And
like a
dicks.
like a guy fucking a chick from behind or whatever.
yeah, no, it is like a classic. I forget, like it's been so long, but like I think like because prostitution's famously joked as the old world's oldest profession, and yeah, I think it's at the foundation of economics in a lot of ways is our desire to fuck, and then also our inability to whenever we want to. So it's like a classic. Similarly to how in early society, like one of the first jobs would have been paying a woman to fuck.
Yeah. And it's,
In the internet, one of the first things
Yeah.
was porn.
yeah. And it's the only prestige or the only job that has not gained prestige as time has gone on.
Right?
Can you believe that?
Right, and it's such an awesome fucking job. Like I
Yeah.
have a bit on my new album of stand up, like
Yeah.
talking about the fucking like how awesome I put fucking prostitutes and porn stars like way high on the respect meter.
Yeah.
Like most people think that it's fucking horrible, and it's what the fuck. Like they're so great for
Yeah.
a variety of reasons, and they're so much better than any number of other jobs that people have that are respected jobs.
Yeah, for sure. You get exercise. You get
You know?
Yeah, you get be your own boss sometimes if you want to.
It's safe if you've had your.
Or if you don't want to, you don't have to be your own boss.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, but you can be.
Yeah.
And if you get your penicillin shots, everything's
Yeah.
cool. You got to throw that wrench in the bacterial wall so you don't get no
Probably have
chlamydia
a
or
real
whatever.
wrench with you too, if, just in case. But yeah, I think it seems like all professions gain prestige as time goes on. At first they're like, "What are you doing? You're an internet marketer person."
Yeah.
Now it's like, "I'm an internet marketer person." You see that shift from the first way I said it to the second way I said it.
The tone says it all. But no, yeah, prostitution is fucking still shat on.
Yeah.
I mean, literally sometimes as part of that job, if that's what you're into. But
Yeah.
figuratively, definitely, people still disrespect it. Like, I disrespect the fuck out of a fucking pastor.
Yeah.
Like, that's a horrible job. Horribly exploitative and fucking just viciously authoritarian asshole guy, pastor, priest, whatever the fuck. A porn star, fucking prostitute, so much more respect than a fucking general or a cop or fucking yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the next video technology is probably that fucking the whatever virtual reality thing, where there's like as far as I've heard, maybe there's something else coming right down the pipe that where we're gonna have fucking like implants and just fucking totally, basically what people have talked about, the Matrix type.
I live in LA. Plenty of people have implants.
Yeah, different type, but the the eventual, I think even
we're gonna be doing this podcast in VR.
Right. It's just people just with headsets on, they can't even see each other, and they're just fucking like.
You're just gonna have millions of people VRing into this room, and it's gonna be super crowded.
In the virtual space, it's completely crowded.
Yeah,
it could be cool. You could do infinite regressions too, of like.
Or just like two guys jacking off, probably.
Well, yeah, but there's gonna be a lot of, or a million guys squished in a room jacking off. It just gets flooded with semen. They all drown virtually. And
they just all start VR swimming.
Yeah. They take the form of a sperm themselves.
You have to take the VR hammer and smash open the window, and everyone goes flooding out the window.
Hell yeah.
There's a VR band playing Titanic music.
Hell yeah. Just fucking white waves coming out.
There's a guy with a child and take the child.
Yeah, there's a loving couple on a board, and the woman's on the wood plank, and the guy's in the freezing semen. And she's like, "I love you," and he's like, "Goop, goop." Yeah. Fucking hey.
And then she drops a ring in the ocean of semen, and then someone comes back.
Anyway. 80 years later.
Yeah.
And she tells the story.
Damn, VR's tight.
Fucking hell yeah.
But what? So you're gonna be able to. But what's the first, other than porn? Because I don't care what you say about porn. I'm not doing it.
I think eventually, like, the NSA is going to make us all.
Anyway.
They're going to force us to do it. Everybody's just going to. That's one of the great. What do they call it? Didn't they have that nude leak of celebrities or whatever? And then they had there's been a bunch of waves of that, and eventually the NSA is just going to leak everybody's private videos.
Oh, yeah.
So most people who just filmed themselves fucking or whatever at one point is just going to be there.
I think. Just if you have a web camera and you've jacked off, even if the webcam
even if it's off,
on,
yeah, it's there. CIA's got it, and they can just throw it out there whenever they want. They can blackmail us all, or just hit us with it one day. Just the great reckoning of everybody's masturbation videos and fuck videos get released.
Oh yeah, and then you can just look up online, I wonder what this guy.
My neighbor. Dude, that would be fun. It's probably going to happen. There's something like that is probably going to happen
just
at some point.
In casual conversation, it's like, dude, I was watching you jack off the other day.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get over it. It won't be a big deal anymore.
Oh yeah.
People will be like, yeah, your grandma fucks pretty well, man. It's or whatever. Everybody will just be there.
Yeah,
and be.
Only one guy, the guy who really owns the country or world would not have his videos online.
Yeah, but
And
then
everyone
he would
like,
be the
yeah.
weird one.
Yeah, it'd be like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
What are you hiding?
He would think that he was saving himself by that, but then
Yeah.
he would have just ruined his fucking street cred. He'd be like, look at that fucking creep over there that hasn't fucking posted any videos of him fucking himself.
He's just like, everyone's like, in public, everyone just goes like, ew.
Yeah, we've never seen you fucking masturbate? What the fuck, dude?
Weirdo.
God
what are you
damn.
into?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's nothing. That would be even weirder.
Yeah. He's like, they're foiled again. He had this whole plan of world domination through exposing everyone's fucking proclivities.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
What would that be? At that point, there's nothing left. There's no strategy left.
Probably just
Everyone's
film
free.
everyone taking a shit and put that out. But they wouldn't be
Yeah.
embarrassed about anything anymore
Yeah.
after the fucking fuck videos and masturbation videos got out.
Right. What's embarrassing? Saying like, if someone's like, "Hey, happy birthday," and you saying like "you too" or something. That's as bad as it gets after that.
Yeah. The most mundane banality would just be like the most shameful embarrassment.
Yeah.
Or the most shame that we experienced.
Yeah.
Be that, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's no. Okay, I'm in favor of this now.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan.
I can see why it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, the CIA is
Everyone-
afraid.
Everyone will be free when this happens.
Right, the CIA and NSA, they would lose their power if they did that to us. It'll backfire miserably. You don't want to do it, American government or Russian government, whoever the fuck's going,
Yeah.
Because they'll be in there, Everyone would be like, yeah. Eventually, like if they didn't Russia, for an example, like they would at some point that same effect would happen, and Putin would look like the weird one that hadn't put out his video. So then he'd be like, no, I masturbate too, and he'd put out a video like of him jerking off, and then be like, yeah. Way too late to the game, guy.
Just like on national television.
Yeah.
Attention, citizens.
Here's Vladimir Putin jacking off. And everybody's like, dude, you fucking poser. You can't come late to this game.
Yeah, like literally coming late to the game.
Yeah.
All right.
Fuck yeah, man.
This is a good podcast, I think.
Yeah, I think
it took about, what time is it? I think it took about an hour to get going.
Until we got to the fucking jism.
Yeah.
Then it just fucking exploded.
That's what it always has to come to.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Literally.
It's the foundation of everything, even good podcasts.
Yeah.
Is nuttin'. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're about
How
to.
long does this take to upload? This is gonna take you hours to upload.
No. Usually, YouTube does it in about 20 minutes. Or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You must have a powerful computer.
No, it's just YouTube.
Did you make this computer?
Yeah. I was talking with somebody else, and I was remembering back. A friend of mine helped me too. I just bought the pieces online through a site, and then we fucking shoved it together.
Oh.
And yeah. But that of course was in 2008. Literally,
this should be the time travel podcast.
Yeah, it really was. I think 2008 when I got that computer.
What if you had a podcast where you could only talk about things that happened in 2008?
Yeah, that would be weird, because we'd have to be like pretty good at history. Like even if you live through history, there's still like we'd have to check a bunch of shit, verify that it definitely.
I can hardly remember what happened 6 months ago.
Yeah. The only thing I remember is Obama was elected president.
Oh, in 2008. Right?
Yeah.
Or was that 6 months ago?
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, me either. I kind of just forgot. Who's Obama?
Yeah, we're in 2003 now. Before his historic speech at the Democratic Convention in 2004.
Yeah. Damn, Hillary Clinton sucks. She must be a horrible.
Yeah.
What is wrong with
I mean,
this
that's going to
lady?
go down in history as one of the worst losses of all time.
Yeah.
The loss to Trump.
Yeah.
Like how, like the most.
She
fuck
had
up.
the two worst ones, because like wasn't she in 2008? She was supposed to be the front runner.
Right. Yeah. I'm surprised she remember
Obama's
that
like
that
a
thing.
nobody.
That nobody has done this yet, as far as I've seen. Like the Munson effect. They haven't Munsoned her. They haven't turned Clinton into a word. Remember Kingpin?
No.
With Bill Murray and Woody
Oh, yeah,
Harrelson,
yeah.
where his name became synonymous with a loser because of how badly he fucking fucked up or whatever. Like Clinton hasn't
why
become
not?
that, or Hillary hasn't become that, because like how the fuck do you lose to the quintessential American. I mean, that was the other thing too. He is the quintessential American douche or whatever. So
Yeah.
a lot of people support that. But yeah.
It's because they don't. I think it's because of the whole like Russian hacking thing that nobody.
Yeah.
No one wants to say that she lost or whatever.
Right. They don't even
people
want to acknowledge that she
Yeah.
lost. It was Russia's fault.
Yeah.
And all this shit. And again, I'll say it. I've said it in a bit many times. It's look, the whole Russia rigged our elections. Like the U.S. government doesn't need any help rigging its elections.
Yeah.
Very good at it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm sure Russia tried, probably contributed some, but
Yeah.
there's nothing like the American system. All the hurdles we have that prevent anybody, golfers vote in the highest percentages. Like
Yeah.
that's how it's rigged. That's how it'll probably always be rigged.
It's not like the U.S. doesn't rig tons of elections around
Exactly.
the world either.
Yeah,
It's like, wait a second.
That was one of the
people
funny
are
things.
rigging our elections?
Yeah,
You
Trump
can't
actually
do
said that too. Like
Yeah.
in an interview during the election, he's like, "We did that." It's so like
That's
that.
actually pretty funny.
Yeah. It's insanely ballsy for someone to
Yeah. Because he
that's-
just doesn't give a fuck.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's as much of a douche or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
he
doesn't
also
give a
has that
fuck.
not give a fuck comedian type
Yeah.
fucking personality where
Man,
yeah.
Like, what if Doug Stanhope was president or something
he should
like
be.
that?
He
yeah.
fucking should be.
That'd be
I-
fucking awesome.
I hope someday he is.
Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah, the American people should really.
I'm voting for him for
Same.
sure.
Same. Maybe he should right now start running. I think for mayor or something or city council, and then he becomes
Yeah.
governor of Arizona, and then he becomes president.
And that's why he'd win, his not give a fuck attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. I mean, yeah. We need to acknowledge, and because Hillary didn't even win the primary, right? Like technically.
Yeah,
they
technically
rigged
Sanders
that.
was sabotaged. Yeah.
No one even talks about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How that was rigged, not
Yeah.
by Russia, by.
Well, by the Democratic
yeah.
National Committee or whatever. Yeah, the DNC. They
Yeah.
totally fucking and people on the outskirts still mention that. Oh, like
Yeah.
you guys totally. We have Russia supposedly got WikiLeaks to hack those emails, which proved that the DNC had sabotaged or rigged their own internal election primary. But it's they did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and people don't talk about that shit. And Bernie Sanders running again, and I wonder if he's sitting around going like, well, they're just gonna fucking fix it against me again.
Yeah.
I'm doing it anyway,
At least Hillary's not. But who do they want? Biden. It seems like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
seems to be the one that everybody or
Yeah.
that all the Democrats want.
Right?
Yeah.
Why would they not do the same thing to Bernie though?
Right.
Because they didn't. There was no accountability for when they did it the
damn
first
it.
time.
God damn it! They keep rigging the election against me.
Yeah.
He has a lisp for some reason. I just made him have a lisp. Anyway.
Hell yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, I hope he wins, but again, because he almost won, would have won, if it hadn't been fucking fixed.
Yeah.
I doubt that he will win.
He had a better chance against Trump, at least, than Hillary.
Oh,
Well, I
fuck
think
yeah.
he would have won against Trump.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, Trump is a savvy manipulator.
What is it about? Why do they not want Bernie so much?
Because he's an open socialist.
Yeah, but there's something. Like, is it a war thing? Is there a pro-war thing going on? I think there's an establishment.
I mean, there's a lot of that. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that in there. But yeah, corporate America basically runs our society.
Yeah.
All the large corporations have infused themselves into the fucking political system in various ways, and even the parties, and so that they don't want a democratic socialist, running shit, and because he would raise taxes, he would give more benefits, he would have more regulations on business, so that big business had to couldn't make as much profit as they see it or whatever. They could fucking make the organizations better and innovate more, and they could make more profit, but they're fucking too dug into idiot douchey behavior where they try to exploit people to make their money. So that's like but I think I hope he wins, but that's why they don't want him. He's enemy number one as far as like fucking
Right.
being anti-business, even though he's very much malleable. I mean, he's been in the system for a while, there are ways in which, you know, he supported Hillary after she fucked him.
Right.
So
they're
like
afraid
they're
of people that can't be controlled.
right, and he can be controlled a little bit, but he's much less controllable than the people they like to have. They like to have just straight up stooges there that'll do whatever the fuck the corporation says.
Right. People with no morals whatsoever.
Right.
Like Hillary and Bill
and Trump.
and Trump.
Yeah, and Bush. Like all the fuck faces that win are usually the dirtiest of the dirty. Actually, I had a friend from another country who had experienced a lot of dictatorships in its history, and he said this applies to his country, but it applies to every country. You don't get to be president of a country without being the most corrupt motherfucker there.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, even in democratic systems, that tends to be the case.
And that's why I'm not president.
Yep, and I'll never be either. That's probably why Doug Stanhope will never be. Although you never know. So we can hope.
You never know.
The world could be better.
Where do we go from here? From where do we? What does?
Yeah, that's a great book, Martin Luther King. Where do we go from here?
Is that his book?
He wrote many, but yeah, that's one of them.
I thought that was Elvis.
Oh shit, maybe.
Wait, isn't that a
it's
song?
It's a common enough title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martin Luther King, though. Why We Can't Wait, Chaos or Community, Where Do We Go From Here, Strive Toward Freedom. Fucking all awesome books.
Have you read The Hunger Games?
No.
No.
But I've seen Battle Royale. Where the Hunger Games ripped off. You've seen Battle Royale.
What's Battle Royale?
Well, it's considered one of the greatest films of all time.
I haven't
But
seen
no,
this.
it's just a brutal. It's a. I forget what country, if it's Japanese or Chinese or whatever. But it's basically Hunger Games. The bad kids get brought into this room, and they're like, look, you guys are always bad. Even when we punish you, you're still bad. So now you're gonna do this thing. And they have this whole thing where they throw them in this area, and there's weapons in the area, and only one is gonna win. You have to kill everybody else. And at the end of the thing, that person becomes the star of the reality show that is the thing. So it's very much like Hunger Games made a teeny bopper version of that, because it's a brutally gory movie. It's fucking awesome. It's just horrific violence from start to finish. It's one of Tarantino's favorite films.
Why do they make them? So they're bad kids that they make fight?
Supposedly, I mean, there's some that are, it's like the detention. The detention that they get is they get brought into this fucking thing where they have to kill each other, and only one survives, and the one from the previous year is like the star of this show or whatever kind of thing, and yeah, supposedly or whatever, and then so everybody fights it out, and it's a very good film.
Ripped off.
Yeah, it's totally like Hunger Games. Like
they ripped that off from Hunger Games.
Other way around. But yeah, Battle Royale is a badass fucking film, and just a much more R-rated Hunger Games, and a much better film. All right.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Fuck yeah. So this podcast is sponsored by Battle Royale.
Battle
I don't have any
Royale.
advertisements, so it's like.
What if people could have kids fight and kill each other? Wouldn't that be cool? Battle Royale.
Yeah, and I think they get some of the adults too in the process. Some of the the military school adults or whatever that are running this game. Eventually it's like Running Man. Any number of movies where Schwarzenegger 80s movies where eventually he'll be back, and he does come back and kick ass and take names. So that whole thing.
I remember him saying that he would.
Yeah, in every one of his movies, he says he'll be back.
Says that in every one of his movies?
I think a lot of them. Maybe not all, but like a lot of them. And
some are just like variations, like "Be right back." BRB.
I'll be back. It's his family, and he comes back. That'd be a good movie. Maybe they did it in Expendables. I never saw that shit, but like if they had a scene where he did that and then he didn't, like he got killed.
Yeah.
Before the end of the movie.
Where did he go? He hasn't come back yet.
Yeah.
Just cut to him. He's like dead in a ditch somewhere. Or he just got a DUI and he's sitting in jail.
Right.
I have to go back.
And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They all
You
say
don't
that.
understand, officer.
And the credits roll.
Yeah,
Fucking badass.
that's a good idea for a movie.
Hell yeah. Or a quick short sketch.
I want to do
Arnold.
one in Taken where he gets the call about his daughter getting taken. And he's like in his house or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna kill you, and and then he flies out to Europe. I want to do just like, instead of cutting to him flying out to Europe, just like a 20-minute sequence of him trying to book his flight and find the cheapest flight, and then packing all his
That's
bags
fucking
and
good.
stuff, and then being
Yeah.
like, oh shit, where did I put my tennis shoes?
Yeah, I forgot my toothbrush. What? I have to go back to the apartment.
Yeah. Oh shit, I forgot my gun. Shit, I brought the gun, but not the ammunition.
He gets a speeding ticket on the way to the airport. He misses his flight.
Yeah.
Has to rebook the fucking
He's
shit.
arguing with the concierge.
He just kills the cop that gives him the speeding ticket. It's like, I gotta get there. Then he gets arrested for that and can't save his daughter.
Yeah.
And that's the whole movie, is the trial of him. But my daughter is kidnapped in Europe. Sure. All right.
Sure.
Whatever. And turns out that the judge of that proceeding is like is part of the criminal organization that kidnaps his daughter.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Fucking yeah, movies.
Yeah, I love movies. I've only seen like 6 of them, but so far I'm liking them.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a new technology, video technology.
Yeah, that's how far behind I am. I saw that first movie with the train,
So train
coming
coming
in,
out
and I
and
was
you
like,
ran out of the
"Wow!"
way.
Jesus. That was like the first prank video, you know, those
Yeah.
YouTube prank videos where it would like scare you.
Yeah.
That's what the train thing was.
Yeah, it caused people to fucking freak the fuck out. They like ran in the
Oh
theater
my
to get out of the way and shit.
Fucking morons.
Yeah, because it's black and white too.
Yeah.
Dude, people are so stupid. It's great.
That would be so
This
much
monochrome enemy.
Oh my god, it's this black and white train. It's really grainy too. I gotta go to the doctor and get my eyes checked out. Ah!
Hell yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong with people? Imagine being the guy putting on this video and you just like, look at this new technology, and everyone just runs out like, man,
Yeah.
guess my movie is not very good.
Yeah, I guess people are too dumb for this new movie thing or whatever. Same thing happened with War of the Worlds, that famous radio broadcast where he pretended
Yeah.
like aliens had actually invaded, but in a very obvious way.
Yeah.
That anybody who wasn't a total fucking moron would have been. And yet the whole country, like, this sweeping, like, fucking panic.
Yeah.
Because people are dumb as shit. We're gullible. As a species,
Yeah.
we're way too gullible.
Do you believe in aliens? I just watched this Netflix document. You don't?
No
Think
way.
they're hiding aliens from us?
No,
Oh
no,
my
they're hiding a
God.
bunch of other shit, but not aliens.
Really?
but yeah, I mean, there's that whole. It's a classic thing that a number of people talked about by now. But like, there might be extraterrestrial. I mean, there's probably is life, at least microscopic life, somewhere. We'll probably find that soon. But spaceship wielding aliens, not likely.
Yeah.
But if there are, we might find them. They would probably find us first.
Yeah, we would have
But,
seen them probably. There
but-
would probably be a ton of them.
Yeah,
We would have
exactly.
seen
There
them
wouldn't just
already.
be one straggler that crashed
Just
here
like
or
some
whatever.
fucking idiot alien moron
Yeah.
that crashes. What kind of alien? Imagine how advanced their technology
Right.
is. How could an alien crash a spacecraft? We have cars already
Right.
that avoid crashes.
Right, and even if they did, what kind of alien technology wouldn't know exactly how to detect where any crashed spacecraft was so that they could help them?
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever, like any number of reasons that prevent that make the whole alien conspiracy thing fall apart. It's like, I hope to someday we find them because they could really help us out. But
That's a good comedy, though. It's just like because the guy who crashed it in New Mexico or whatever, the alien has to be like the biggest idiot alien of all time. So, and then all of a sudden the humans are like, "Hey, can you help us out? Show us your technology." He's like, "Well, okay, I'll try."
He's like, I don't know how any of it works. That reminds me of a fucking old Ben Stiller show sketch with fucking Janine Garofalo as the B- student time traveler.
Yeah.
And she like goes back to like George Washington's about to cross the Delaware. It's like he's like, should I cross the Delaware or should I not? How do I win this battle? And she's like, I don't remember. And like, it was that kind of thing, like same sort of, like the ignorance of, and each phase of history she'd be there, and like they'd be asking her, we need this piece of information. Didn't you study? What the fuck?
Yeah,
The same sort of thing,
true.
like where the alien would be like,
yeah, because if you went back in time, it's not like you'd be able to explain how an iPhone works. You'd be like, they'd be like, how does this work? And you'd be like, well, I don't know. Hold on, it's got a, oh shit, it's freezing. It's got to update real quick.
Yeah, it can't update because we're in a fucking different time.
Crap, I can't use this app right now because it needs an update for this app to work.
Yeah.
It's like, I can show you how it works for about an hour or two, and then it's just gonna go dark, and I'm gonna have no idea what to do.
Yeah, not gonna be able to recharge it ever. It's done after that. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. So the overall time kind of does map the possibility of technological use. So yeah, it's very possible. There are aliens now. But yeah, I hope we someday discover a planet of thinking beings and destroy them.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Or just like test medicine on them and stuff.
Right, give them the measles. Fucking, they're the new model systems.
Yeah.
Fucking fucking aliens. Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
I mean, we've done like how the fuck long? Have we done? Pretty much Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah,
fucking dude,
that's
thanks
how
for doing the
long it goes.
podcast,
Yeah,
man.
dude,
Fucking
I
A.
had fun.
Yeah, Kevin Klatman, you got a website or anything like
Follow.
Instagram?
I don't. I don't have anything. Follow me on Twitter, please.
Hell yeah.
Please.
Yeah, you got Twitter and Instagram.
Instagram. Oh, I review movies on my Instagram
That's
now.
right.
I don't know how much longer it'll last for, because usually I give up on stuff like very quickly. But
Fuck yeah. All right, hell yeah. Well, yeah. Check them out on Instagram and Twitter and all that shit. Hell yeah.